Hello, you are welcome once again to today's lesson. It is a privilege to have a nice time with you again. I'm going to take you through a very interesting topic, something we have done already. And so the essence of this lesson is to lay emphasis on what we started last time and also help correct some of the things we didn't get right. Okay, so I would be so much grateful if we will pay attention to the discussion and do our best to produce a good essay at the end of the lesson. So our main objective for the lesson is that the student should be able to write a good comprehensive essay, one that will make meaning. Bear in mind the features as well, and then the demand of an argumentative essay. So I'll quickly take you through the definition, the explanation, and what it entails, its features. Okay, so for an argumentative essay, we say that it is an essay that is meant to persuade. Okay, it is meant to convince. You should be able to put your words right so that you can convince. And it is just like you selling a product and someone is not really interested. Okay, perhaps someone has been introduced to one before you arrived. So for you to make that person buy yours, you need to entice the person. Okay, enticing the person, use words to do that. So we are only asking you to bring that same knowledge into the class where you convince the reader to take your side, okay, to accept your side. And so for argumentative essay, we say that the essay is written to persuade readers to agree to the writer's opinion. And the essence of this is to prove to readers that their view or your view is better or right than the others. So if you are able to do that, it means that you'll be able to make headway with your essay. And it also has to do with how you begin the essay. Okay, so in beginning the essay, before you begin, you should know that for argumentative is just like every other essay. We have three main features we should bear in mind. We have an introduction, the body, and then the conclusion. Okay, the introduction, the body, and then the conclusion. For the introduction, it is where you put across perhaps the definition. So from the topic given, you identify the keywords or the key point. You talk about it briefly, and you do that in a nice way. Then you go to the body where you now come back to use the point you think they are good enough, and you have examples and reasons to support them. Then the last one is the conclusion. Okay, so for the introduction must be brief. Okay, and it can be brief in this way, where you come with an explanation or general information you have about the topic and declare or state your position or stand. Okay, so we should also know that the introduction should contain a paragraph. It should be done in a paragraph and use simple sentences that can be understood. Don't be complacent and come out with complex sentences. Some of us, you are not good at that. Keep it simple and just come out to write convincingly. As simple as that. Okay, so when you're done with the introduction, so you get to but this is where the real work begins. Okay, you should know that you have declared your stand in the introduction. So introducing your body, you should come out with points that are strong enough, and you should bear in mind the topic and why you have chosen that stand, so that you don't deviate from the norm. Okay, so for the body, you come in to defend that strongly by stating your point, explain them. Okay, explain, give reasons why you have chosen that side, or you have decided to support that side, and do that using evidence, reasons, facts, examples, okay, to convince the reader or listener. I hope that is clear. Then once a while, what you do is that you introduce a point you think your opponent is likely to raise and refute it. You talk about it. You make it look like it is nothing. I hope that is clear. Because if you have to go straight forward with yours, you will not really convince the person. So just like I cited earlier, there is a product before the person, you're also introducing another one. So once in a while, you are going to say something you think that product cannot do, yours can do. Okay, so these are some of the techniques you must use in making your points stand out. And you do that in about 3 paragraphs. Okay, so you should have good points you raise in 3 to 4 paragraphs. Your body will be clear enough for everyone to understand. I hope that is clear. Okay. So when it comes to the conclusion, this is where you summarize the points raised in your argument and restate your position. Emphasize on the position. Okay. By drawing the attention of the reader to the point you have raised and lay emphasis. Okay. And stress that they should accept your stand. I hope that is clear. All right, so we have the introduction. So I'll just read an introduction out and then we'll see how to go about it. An introduction and then we'll see how to go about it. Okay, so where we have an introduction and we are looking at a topic that has to do with introducing an award scheme for your school. Okay, the PT has introduced an award scheme for your school. And which of your teachers would you nominate for the award and why? These are some of the topics that we can talk about. Let us look at the simple one. Life in the city is more dangerous than that in the village. The question is, you the one coming to talk, you are living in the city, but for your point, perhaps you want to side with those in the village to say that living in the village is safer. You should know how to go about that, and you do that convincingly. So let's look at what this is about. Okay, so for an introduction like this, we think we should consider what the city is about and what the village is about. Okay. And in doing that, you look at some of the things that those in the city have, and it is good compared to what those in the village have. So there have been several schools of thought about whether city life or village is dangerous. I would like to take this opportunity to express my opinion on this important and interesting argument. So the person has given a general view of what people think, and he's saying that there has been many concerns raised. Okay, and it is true, concerns have been raised, but for this writer, he would want to express his opinion on this topic, and he also went further to take a stance and to affirm that life in the city is more dangerous than life in the village. So it means that he is accepting the facts before the house. I hope that is clear. All right, so your introduction can be like that. What we're saying is that you should have identify the keywords in the introduction and use that to start, so that you will find it's very easy when you begin. So any keyword you come across in a topic given, you just have to either explain it, you give examples, then you declare your stand. More importantly, you give a general view, what others think about the thing. So out of that, then you can also come out to declare your stand. Okay. So for the body, we said that this is where you come out with your point. So let's listen to how this person came up with a point. When we say something or a place is dangerous, then that thing or place is harmful, okay, and is threatening. I would therefore say that city life offers more danger than village life. Others will disagree, okay, but that is your stand. One may be deceived to talk about the difficulty in accessing health facilities in the village. So the person is raising a stand where he thinks that the opponent is going to come in to say that, oh, the life in the village is very bad because they lack a whole lot of things. So he has raised that point first. Due to inadequate hospital clinics or health centers, but I beg to differ, because in the olden days, that our predecessors were not enjoying such facilities. They still lived longer than now that we have hospitals and clinics which are scattered in the city. They use herbal medicines which were natural. Currently, people are patronizing herbal medicines, even though the manufacturing companies are found in the city. Their raw materials are mostly gotten from the village. So this person has raised a point, he thinks the opponent will, and then he has come back to refute it. So that is the idea of. So you do that consistently through your body, the paragraphs you are creating in the body. When you raise the point, think you have something to say against what you think your opponent to say, you just voice it out briefly, and then you come back, give examples and explanations with the point you have. Okay, so you do that nicely, and you do it so well that you can convince the reader. Okay, then when you come to the conclusion, we are saying that with the conclusion, you lay emphasis on the point you have raised. So you just refer the person to the point you have raised, and then ask that they side with you. Okay, you ask that they side with you. So for an example of a conclusion, in fact, just on the same topic, in fact, in villages, communal living has made it possible for people to be one another's keeper. The hustle and bustle is not common in village. Therefore, village life is serene and worth living than in the city. From the argument presented, it is abundantly clear that life in the city is more dangerous than life in the. So before you end the essay, you come back and lay emphasis. Okay, so like the person said, from the argument presented, from what you have presented, you think that indeed life in a city poses more danger than life in the village, and then you are through with it. All right, so I hope listening to the audio will help you write a good argumentative essay. When we meet again, we will take a different topic, and then we'll be taking through each of this with examples and more points for discussion. All right. So for your assignment today, you are going to write on an interesting topic where you would have to consider the topic formal education is key to development. Formal education is key to development, implying that formal education is the only thing that can bring development to the country, or it is very important. Looking at other forms of education, formal education is better off than the others. Okay, and so just follow the procedure I've given and do that. Take your time and write properly. Hope to meet you another time. Be safe. It is very necessary. Be safe. Bye bye.